All right, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another We Read the Documents live stream of your host, John Brisson. Thank you for being a subscriber. Sorry for the lack of content this past week or so. I've been working very diligently. I got to go out of town for family reasons, trying to raise up money for that. It's also, sadly, coming up on the 24th, the 10th anniversary of my son's death. So it's been kind of a tough time. Hope everybody's doing well out there. God bless everyone. If you could donate, put my buy me a coffee link in the chat, and I'll post it whenever I post this on Patreon or Substack or Odyssey. I'll put a link in the show notes for donations. Trying to raise up $100 if possible, ASAP. As I'm leaving to go travel tomorrow. But anyway, so we're gonna continue our Tucker Carlson expose series. This is the 14th episode, The Hunt for Red Tucker. Okay, so Tucker, who's a blue blood Swanson by marriage. Okay, Tucker, whose father has his own CIA connections, was the head of America Propaganda, Voice of America, PBS Broadcasting. Go back to my first and second episodes on Tucker if you want to learn about Tucker's father, Richard Carlson, also known as Dick Carlson, as well as the episode that I did with Tucker's connections to David Brock. Okay. So, Tucker, who's wanted to interview Putin for years, but was unable to, supposedly, allegedly, according to him, because the Biden administration and U.S. Intelligence agencies were spying on him and inhibiting his ability to interview Tucker. I don't believe that because, Tucker is a CIA flunky who was not accepted into the CIA, just like his father, just like Anderson Vanderbilt Cooper. Okay, so for all those conservatives out there who love Tucker so much, they point to Anderson Vanderbilt Cooper and say, well, look at him. He didn't get into the CIA, right? Well, Tucker didn't get into the CIA either, right? We have to be fair. We have to be objective. We understand that the United States intelligence agencies run Project Mockingbird and the Mockingbird media. Okay, so Putin, not only once does he mess with Tucker about the CIA, he messes with him twice. Okay? So let's be real here, all right? Look at it through the lens that Tucker is, ultimately doing this for the elite. He's definitely on the Great Awakening side, reaching more people on X than he ever has at Fox News. You're going to see literally, this is going to hurt some people who champion, champion the United States intelligence agencies and champion Joe Biden as president. Okay, some of you parapolitical thinkers out there, which in reality are just regurgitating John Birch Society talking points, even though you hate the JBS, kind of like the leftist progressives out there that, They're 100% against Putin and Russia, but our CIA can never do anything wrong, right? Those people, okay? So, this is more complex than we'll ever know. This is more complex than we'll ever truly know, okay? Because is Tucker going over to Russia as a CIA agent to seed Russian propaganda to the American people? But they wouldn't do something like that, right? Because they're against Russia, right? Or are they all in bed together? All the elite are in bed together. It's probably more likely true. Okay? So let's watch this.
With the backing of CIA, of course. The organization you wanted to join back in the day, as I understand. We should thank God they didn't let you in. Although, it is a serious organization. I understand.
Look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. Look at Putin's smirk on that face. Look at him. He knows. He knows that Tucker, CIA Mockingbird. He knows. That's what this jab was. And we get another more direct jab in a minute. All right? But that's exactly what this was. Exactly what. Look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. Look at it. All right? And look, I'm not a fan of Putin. I'm not a fan of any world leader at all, period. Okay, I understand Russian subversion into the United States of America and vice versa. Vice versa. Okay, but I know that Putin is a pretty intelligent man. He's a pretty intelligent world leader. Okay, I don't really think Biden ever was. Obama is and charismatic. I'm not a fan of Obama, just like I'm not a fan of Biden. So there have been, highly intelligent world leaders. Another American example would be, the evil George H.W. Bush. Okay, not so much George W. Bush, but George H.W. Bush, or not so much Ronald Reagan. But that's where we're at. Okay, so Putin knows exactly what he's doing. Knows exactly how he's, jabbing Tucker. Okay.
With the backing of CIA, of course. The organization you wanted to join back in the day, as I understand. We should thank God they didn't let you in. Although, it is a serious organization. I understand.
So we have that, and then we have, of course, when they start discussing the Nord Stream pipeline. Look what Vladimir Putin directly says to Tucker Carlson.
Nord Stream.
So Tucker asks, who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline to Putin, okay?
You for sure.
I was busy that day. Nate, do you have
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Because Tucker knew exactly what he mean by you, of course. The CIA. The CIA. All right, let's continue, because Vladimir Putin literally says that next.
I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби. У вас лично.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
I mean, he's literally calling him out a CIA agent. And anybody in MAGA and Q, did anybody who loves Tucker Carlson for speaking the truth, did they self-reflect on this? Were they like, oh, Tucker really might be CIA, right? No. They doubled and quadrupled down that he's our guy. Let's play it again.
Who blew up Nord Stream?
You for sure.
I was busy that day.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. Tucker knows he's being messed with by Vladimir Putin. Now, you could say that all this is staged, okay? And there is an element to that, all right? But, come on. It's too good, right? It's too good.
Nate, do you have
yeah, see, he's like, I got you, Putin. I understand what you're saying. I'm CIA. I get it. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. And anybody what can tell me that Tucker Carlson ain't CIA Mockingbird? Because Putin's saying he is. Not once, but twice. Not once, but twice. And in this clip, he's directly saying it. And they're having a laugh, and Tucker has to correct himself. Come on.
I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби. У вас лично.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
There you go. So let's see what he says about Elon Musk real quick and AI. Shout out to Days of Noah. Now, me and S90 eventually need to do a show about how Dugin and Russia have their own version of transhumanism. Okay, they're not against transhumanism. There's against the Western version of transhumanism. I'm against all transhumanism. Okay, this is, let that be known. It doesn't matter if it comes from Russia. It doesn't matter if it comes from the United States. Just like the other day I played that, Pfizer ad. We have mRNA vaccines coming out for cancer. Well, then Putin stands up a few days later and says we have Russian mRNA cancer vaccines, okay? But yeah, Putin's our guy, right? He's our guy. Are those the safe ones? Those are the safe ones, right?
So when does the AI empire start, do you think?
You're asking increasingly more complicated questions. To answer them, you need to be an expert in big numbers, big data, and AI. Mankind is currently facing many threats. Due to the genetic researches, it is now possible to create a superhuman, a specialized human being, a genetically engineered athlete, scientist, military man. There are reports that Elon Musk has already had a chip implanted in the human brain in the USA.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think there's no stopping Elon Musk. He will do as he sees fit.
As Days of Noah said, that's crazy to think about. That's crazy. Almost, treating Elon Musk as in he's a country. Like he's an entity in and up of himself, a country that can't be stopped, like a rogue state. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, shout out to Days. All right, so Putin explains why he didn't fully enjoy his interview with Tucker Carlson, referred to him as dangerous. Perhaps that's why Putin brought up this Tucker CIA connection. Maybe? Connections? Tucker CIA.
I'm going
to have to read this out. I think that your Carlson, when I say your, I mean that he is a representative of your trade. A journalist is a dangerous person. And here's why. Because I honestly thought he was going to be aggressive and ask these so-called tough questions, which Tucker didn't. It was mostly a fluff interview. I wasn't just ready for it. I wanted it because it would have given me an opportunity to respond sharply as well, which I think I would have given our whole conversation a certain specificity. But he chose another tactic. He tried to interrupt me several times, but still surprisingly for a Western journalist, he was patient. He listened to my long ideologies, especially about history. Did not give me an excuse to do what I was ready to do. So frankly, I did not fully enjoy the interview. But he originally followed his plan and executed his plan. But how meaningful it was in the end is not for me to judge. It is for the viewers, listeners, maybe readers of the material that need to form their own opinions. Okay. And again, that's if Putin's, you got to think if he's accurately being translated too, okay, which I think he is. So here I have Tucker visiting a Russian grocery store, okay? And, it's nice. It's in Moscow, which is a major city. There's food within the grocery store. It's not like USSR times, But, let's see, Tucker all of a sudden, there's just marvelous, invention and innovation, okay? This Russian marvelous invention and innovation, okay? It's just so marvelous.
Long-standing feature, maybe the longest-standing feature of Cold War propaganda in the West was the Soviet grocery store. No products, no choices, shoddily made things. And it wasn't actually propaganda, it was real. And you can look up the pictures on the internet if you want. So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a contemporary, modern-day, 2024 Russian grocery store 2 years into sanctions. Here we go. All right, there we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment.
Okay. That right there, that clip truly shows who Tucker Carlson is. Truly shows who he is, what he's about. There's no finer clip more than that one. Tucker is an elitist. He is a member of the elite. He is a blue blood even before the Swanson heiress money. Okay? He's never been to Aldi. He's never had to shop at Aldi. Okay? This isn't some miraculous Russian invention. Okay? This isn't something that's not in, America, Aldi grocery stores. I understand Aldi's a European company, okay? They also run Trader Joe's. I get it. All right? But listen to me. There are other grocery stores in America that use this same concept. This isn't some miraculous Russian ingenuity and invention, okay? But he doesn't know that. Either that or he's playing a role, okay? But he's being facetious. That's possible too, but I don't think he is. I think he legitimately does not know. I think legitimately thinks that this is some sort of Russian ingenuity because he's never had to shop at an Aldi, which is a lower income grocery store, in his entire life. I've had to shop there over the years, every so often. But imagine that. Imagine that. Tucker doesn't understand that there are grocery stores in America that have the same ingenious invention. And it's not that ingenious. This would not be something hard to figure out or to rig up. It just isn't.
Okay, this is the grocery cart escalator. This is designed, I'm figuring this out now, where the wheels don't move, they lock.
Okay. He should know that they have those in America. You ever been to a 2-story Target or a 2-story Whole Foods? Which I'm pretty sure Tucker Carlson has. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe someone has shopped for Tucker's groceries for so many years that he's never been to Whole Foods or a 2-story Whole Foods in the Alexandria, Virginia area, Washington, D.C. area. I guess he never has. I guess he never has.
On the grocery cart escalator. Look, Ma, no hands. Retail placement here is a little bit different. So it's like walking through Macy's to get to Whole Foods. Okay, we've gotten through the perfume section to get to the grocery store. So we're going to try and buy what a family of 4 would buy every week, and we're going to see what the selection is, and we're going to see what it costs. Now, Russia is famous for its bread, which is one thing I can assess pretty well. The low-carb lifestyle has not swept Russia.
And there's some good, there's good-looking food there. I'm not going to lie and say otherwise.
Thank heaven.
But this could be an upscale grocery store. It's literally in a mall, and it's in Moscow.
Because look at that. It's fresh, too. Look at that. Oh, come on. Unicorn and mini mills. All right. Some kind of Russian wheat cookies. Ooh, we need coffee.
Russian wheat cookies? Why didn't you get something with actually some flavor or taste to it? Something sugary. He's like, ho, 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 it's a Russian wheat cookies.
Don't we? Yeah. I don't know if this is sugar or flour, to be honest with you, but it looks like a staple, so we should get it. It's a very good-looking package. It's got to be flour, right? And this is Russian wine. It's from Crimea, which not only has the warm water naval base, but also is the source of most of the grapes in this part of Russia for wine. So it's apparently pretty good. Cheese puffs. You check out of a grocery store and you've got gum, razor blades, and candy. Actually, they hide the razor blades because we steal them. But these are all seem to be Western products. Mars, Twix, Snickers, Milky Way, Bounty, Gillette, Paul's Coffee.
Whoa, Tucker. Well, imagine that. Tucker didn't bring this up. The razor blades have to be opened up just like they have to be opened up in America. Look, you got to open. Those are containers. They're not just packs of razor blades. They're just not packs of razor blades that you could just pick up and buy. They have to be unlocked in these devices. They're like the kind of devices that you see in like when you go to buy a video game or a CD or a DVD or something expensive, at an electronics store, and they got to open it up. That's exactly what it is. But did he mention that? No, he didn't mention that, did he?
Paul's cough drops, Mentos. It's pretty non-sanctioned to me, but what do I know? I went from amused to legitimately angry. So we were guessing what this would cost. Everybody hears from the United States, buys groceries, and we didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400. It was $104 US here. And that's when you start to realize that ideology maybe doesn't matter as much as you thought.
What about the currency exchange? What about the ruble? What about inflation? What about economics? We're going to get over that in a minute. But is it, I just caught you in a lie, Tucker, when you're like, oh, look at the razor blades are at the front, but they're in security devices. And now you're going to tell me that this amount of groceries, which is a good amount of groceries, was $100. Okay. And it's more expensive in America, right?
Corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us.
Okay, sure.
And coming
but Putin's done that to Russia, too.
To a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway.
But is it like that outside of Moscow? Is it like that in the countrysides? And look, I understand. There's very poor people in Appalachian Mountains. All right? I live near them. All right? I get it. Okay? But come on, it's ridiculous. So the average Russian, monthly wage, because we're going to do some fact checking to make sure some of these sources we look at is true, is roughly around 73,383 rubles a month. Okay. So here's from the Russian news agency itself. This is from July 2021, and I don't think it's gotten better since the war, right? It's the war of Ukraine and Russia and the sanctions and everything. Over 60% of Russians spend half their salary on food. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a pretty high amount. Not saying that it doesn't happen here in the United States. Okay. The survey consisted of 5,000 people ages 20 to 55. 60.4% of Russian citizens spend half of their monthly income on food. 60% spend half their earnings on food. And 14.8%, about third of their income. And about 8.8% spend no more than 20% of their budget on food. Now, look, I understand that, it depends on the income level, and of whoever's polled, even here in America, how much they spend on food, okay? And then we have right here, critics were quick to point out the disparity in the experiment. The United States dollar relative to the Russian ruble continues to grow in strength. That's currency wars. You know how currency wars are. After the initial invasion of Ukraine, the Russian ruble quickly devalued itself, growing to an all-time high of over 124 rubles to $1. It eventually stabilized, but the Russian ruble continues to weaken relative to the dollar. It currently sits near $1 to 92 rubles, which is hovering around all-time highs outside the initial collapse following the Russian invasion. And again, according to Russian state-run propaganda agency, over 60% of Russians spend half their salary on food. In the United States, the number is roughly 11%. It's the highest it's been since 1980s, but still much smaller than most poor nations. The average wage in Russia is equivalent of $14,771. So if your grocery bill costs $100 and you only make $14,000, yeah, it's not as good as Tucker says it is. It's just not. Okay? Oh, look, it's Tucker at the Moscow subway station. Oh, boy.
One of the ways you understand a society is through its infrastructure, the places where people gather, the places where they go to travel. If you've got a lot of people in one place, it tells you a lot about the people. So with that in mind, we're standing in front of the Kievskaya metro station, and there's a train station next to it. Now, the metro station was built by Joseph Stalin 70 years ago. And the question is, how's it doing now, after 70 years? So we went into it to take a look, and what we found shocked us. Now, that's not an endorsement of Stalin, who was bad, obviously, nor is it an endorsement of the current president, Vladimir Putin. You may not like him either. But it doesn't change the reality of what we saw, or more precisely, didn't see. There's no graffiti, there's no filth, there are no foul smells, there are no bums or drug addicts or rapists or people waiting to push you onto the train tracks and kill you. No, it's perfectly clean and orderly.
That we know of.
And how do you explain that? We're not even going to guess. That's not our job.
We've already caught Tucker on one lie, okay? One, all right?
We're only going to ask the question. And if your response is to shout at us slogans
and it was a lie by omission,
dumber than the slogans we used to call Soviet and mock, that's not really an answer. How does Russia, a country we're told is a gas station with nuclear weapons, have a subway station that normal people use to get to work and home every single day that's nicer than anything in our country. We're not going to speculate. We're just going to raise the question and wait for someone in charge to give us an answer. What is the answer? So we'll stop the lecture and let you take a look for yourself at what the Kievskaya metro station in Moscow, Russia looks like today, February 2024, in the middle of a war. Here it is.
Tartaria confirmed! Tartaria confirmed! And look, yeah, the subway station is nice. It's clean. Okay. But to say, like, nothing's, like, ever been built like that in the West, I guess Tucker's never seen Grand Central Terminal in New York City. I mean, look. I mean, yeah, it might not be as fancy, but it's not horrible looking, you know, by the slightest bit, you know. But then again, you know, the Moscow Metro was built the way it was because it was Soviet propaganda by Stalin. And yeah, it may run fine now, but it didn't always. It didn't always. So that's really about it for the hunt for Red Tucker, Tucker the Red. You know, I guess, you know, we'll see what's going on. With good old Tucker. We might have some more streams to do on Tucker. You know, Tucker, while he was over in Russia, he interviewed Edward Snowden and supposedly Biden rape victim Tara Reid, who I did not know had moved to Russia because she's afraid of what the Biden administration might do to her. Which, fair, but I wouldn't go to Russia, but I get it. And so I don't even, you know, there's a discrepancy of whether Tucker specifically interviewed Snowden or not. Okay? Or he at least met with Snowden. We know that. But whether he interviewed them, we don't know. We don't know when the Julian Assange interview is going to drop. They teased it recently. Tucker teased it recently. So we have, you know, he's got a Julian Assange interview. He's got a Tara Reid interview in the can. Maybe he's got an Edward Snowden interview in the can. We really don't know. But yeah, that's Tucker's visit to Russia. Okay, it's Tucker's visit to Russia. Probably did the CIA. Probably, you know, made the CIA proud. You know. Made Russia proud, made Putin proud, made the KGB proud. So, you know, who's he really working for? That's all I got. So take care, everybody. God bless. Like I said, sorry for the lack of new content. I've been busy door dashing for the days that I had off from school. You know, have a family engagement I got to go out of town for. And I'm, you know, trying to raise at least $100 to help out with that. So the link buy me a coffee's in the chat for how long I keep the stream up, and then it's also in the show notes. So thank you for everyone who donates very much. I'm much appreciative. And take care, everybody. God bless. See you soon.